Hello, I'm ArmagideonTime, and this is boring. Alright, let's get off to a great start. This is from the 1927-1928 film, Wings. No, not that Wings. Really? Okay. Anyway, so this one starts off in 1917 during World War I. Really? Are we starting off with a war movie? I got like 80 or 90 bazillion of these things to do. So, we start off with, what's his name? We start off with Jack Sparrow. No, Jack Powell. So, we start off with this guy, Jack Powell, and he really loves to fly. And he also has this next door neighbor, Mary Preston, who I guess the actress is the figure that they modeled Betty Boop after. Go figure. So yeah, apparently she's very annoying, like many women, am I right? And Jack just wants to fly. So he decides to join the army. What else are you gonna do? And so he and I guess this other guy, David Armstrong, want to go into the army. Air Force. Marines. No, Air Force. So they do. Afterward, some stuff happens. They go to war. Some scenes about working out. Really old fisticuff style. Then, on the war front. So Jack and Dave start off as enemies. But through sheer determination and will and blah, 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 they become friends. And sure enough, oh yeah, by the way, there's this girl called Sylvia who's in love with Dave, but some mix-up kind of happened, and now Jack thinks that Sylvia is in love with him, but really she still likes Dave, and Mary is clueless. So in all the hype, Mary decides to join the women's motor transport thing. About riding ambulances? Finally, she's on the front lines too, hanging out with all the guys. I don't know. Then war! And since the guys are all distraught and messed up, they decide to go to Paris. And sure enough, at Paris, there's a hilarious scene where everybody's drinking, having a good time. Funny that they show all this drinking stuff when it's the 20s. Wasn't there something about alcohol? Oh, it probably didn't matter. And you see Jack there with Sylvia, who is just kind of playing coy, or whatever. And there's little bubbles floating everywhere. And he is mesmerized by the bubbles. So along comes Mary, puts on a nifty looking gown to attract his attention. But still, the bubbles! But these guys come along, army dudes, Air Force dudes, and they mistake the fact that Mary and Jack are in a bedroom alone. So they say, well, actually what they say is, "You will not have a young lady showing herself in such a glamorous foo-fa-foo way. You are hereby resigned." Yeah, they don't quite come out and say fired. Maybe it sounds too effeminate? So now Mary's over there. And war! Yeah, you got the Germans before they went all Nazi. And then you got the Americans. And Jack's shooting down planes. And Dave is shooting down planes. But then, gasp! Dave's plane gets shot down. And Jack was like, so Jack seeks revenge. Well, not quite yet. First, David Armstrong, somehow manages to steal a German biplane, of all things, and make his way safely to the front lines. But oh no, Jack sees the German biplane coming. So he thinks, I must avenge my friend. I must take down another Heine. Yeah, I guess that's the word that they used. I don't know, I thought that was beer. Hey, pass me another German biplane. I'm a little thirsty. So he shoots it down! And Dave goes down with it. Jack goes to take his rightful prize. That thingamajig with the cross, the Iron Cross. and sees Dave was the pilot. Ah! Spoiler alert. And everybody has big cry boo hoo hoo, and then Dave and Jack make out. Come on, this is the 20s. They wouldn't have admitted they were gay. Are you kidding? They were more like confirmed bachelors. So yeah, anyway, they have their tender moment where Jack's got Dave in his arms. I won't leave you, you're my best friend. And Dave's over there like, I forgive you. All melodramatic like. So then, a hero is welcome back home. Jack regrets to tell Dave's parents that Dave's dead. Wah, wah, wah. Finally, Jack comes to his senses and realizes he truly loves Mary. The end. All I gotta say to this movie is, meh. It had its moments, but it was all subtitled. I mean, this is probably the only silent film I will have to review. But still, I mean, they went by so quickly, having to pause and pause and pause in order to just read the multitude of text all over the screen. But I must say, you know, for a movie from 1927, where all they had to go on was the First World War, they had no idea about what was about to come. Not even the Great Depression. They thought everything was still going to be awesome forever. Well, there was the alcohol thing. But I'm not going to get into cinematography and production and lighting and all that kind of thing. We leave that for the professionals. But my honest opinion, I thought it was okay. At least it kept my attention just enough for me to get through the whole thing. And it was a long movie too. Like 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like 141 minutes, something like that. But that's a long time for a silent movie, no less. So, I don't know, I guess it had some cool effects. The bubbles. Yeah, they were actually cartoony, believe it or not. So I don't know how they would do that, like maybe put a film over top of the film. Is that a paradox? But all in all, I thought there were some pretty good effects for the 20s. And there were some pretty funny parts too. Bubbles! People being drunk. Women being mistaken for prostitutes. Maybe not so much prostitute as hussy or flapper. And I guess the story was alright for its time. It does seem a little dated now. A little? So if I had to rate this out of, I don't know, I haven't really thought of a rating system yet. I'm doing all this on the fly. But I'll say 1 to 10, 4. So the only reason I got a 4 was because of those couple little funny scenes. I guess the dog fights were alright. Actual dogs. Idiot. But I mean, what are you gonna do? It's 1927. So, on that note, I am ArmagideonTime, and this was boring.